welcome back. What a considerate thing for the Titanian fleet to do. They delay us 5 minutes, and then they make sure the match is really, really short by not simply...
I'm sure the 5-minute delay was their fault.
I really have no idea what happened there. I mean,
really,
we were all, I think,
really
expecting Exodus to take it, but that was just the fact that the Ishtars didn't do any damage. The only damage we saw onto the Exodus team was after the Ishtars all died.
Yeah, so actually the delay was because of some scrambling in the Titanian fleet. So maybe they were just nervous, this being maybe their first tournament showing, and maybe like.
I mean, I think one experience I remember. A friend of mine once got to play in one of the militia teams, I think, a while back when we had those in the tournament, and they were on a century-focused team, and they called a target early that they couldn't hit, and it was basically the same where by the time they realized that their target call was bad, they hadn't really done anything, and they were all dead. And it's possible that happened here, that the Titanian fleet decided for some reason that they were going to, like, for instance, shoot at the Inquisitors first. And they may have just actually not been able to hit them.
I'm actually going to point something out here.
All right.
The Titanian fleet, the Delta total damage of 505.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that.
Yeah,
they didn't actually...
Yeah, the damage was all just basically like a sentinel or a stabber hitting the stiletto a couple times. That was it.
I have to hope that at least what happened is that they chose a target like the carries or the Inquisitors, and then just couldn't hit it at all because of tracking. And that by the time they kind of realized that, the match was basically over. Because the other explanation is they just actually didn't shoot their guns.
Shooting at the Inquisitors actually might be a logical first, like you might expect it to be a logical first target.
Yeah.
Because the Inquisitors they're vulnerable, they have low hit points, and they're going to be propping up the rest of the team with their reps.
Right.
But Wardens aren't going to hit them.
Right.
If they'd been using shorter range drones that have higher tracking, perhaps, but that's very possible. So they could have just been trying to shoot them and just not got a single hit on them.
Yeah.
One thing that's tempting, probably, especially with the Ishtar bonuses, is to think that if you choose a small target like the Inquisitors first, you will just remove it from the field immediately, and that you'll, by doing that, maybe use a volley or two, and then the Dominixes will have so much less HP over the course of the match because they won't have reps.
Because we saw what the Inquisitors did with Dominixes for Rehurt there.
They tons of extra
Dominix
HP.
Survived so long.
Yeah. But if you're wrong, and especially if you're wrong and you stick to your call, you end up wasting an enormous amount of time.
And by then, they just lost the Ishtar so quickly. That was very, very fast play to take advantage of whatever mistake the Titanian fleet made by Exodus, is that they saw they weren't taking any damage and they didn't mess around. They just started burning through Ishtars as quickly as possible and didn't give Titanian fleet a chance to reconsider.
Right.
So that was a really interesting match in the sense that we have no idea what happened for the Titanian fleet there.
I'm sure somebody will post on the forums and let us know some more details.
So keep an eye out for that.
I feel pretty...
Shooting the Inquisitors seems like a likely story.
I think that seems very likely.
Yeah.
It's possible also that there's some kind of technical problem.
Or someone got bribed or something.
Yeah, there's always that.
There's always that.
Which always comes up. Very rarely is true.
Yeah.
But, we're EVE players, so we love crazy scandals.
And
I would be shocked if Exodus paid for a win from Titanian Fleet in their first match. That seems a little unlikely. But
especially Titanian Fleet is probably super rich, so why would they need the money?
Yeah. Well, they also really love money. That's why they're really rich.
So I have the bands here for the next match, if you want to hear them.
Yep, let's do that.
The match is German, about as good as a German ski lesson versus Raging Homo Sapiens. And the German ski lesson bans the Ishtar and Golem, while Raging Homo Sapiens ban the Dominix and Vindicator.
All right. So the fact that we've been seeing so many Dominixes suggests that people have been maybe underestimating them and not banning them, because in the last Alliance tournament we just saw them banned more often than not. Maybe now that we've seen a couple of Dominix teams do pretty well, we're going to see people start to ban them more often. So
yeah, and I can tell you right now, a little spoiler: there's actually a Dominix ban for the match after that as well. So definitely looks like that is the case. People are picking up on how strong it is. Just like in the Alliance tournament, and starting to get rid of that.
It's not as strong as it was in the AT. There's been a couple of recent changes to sentry drones, and the bonus changed as well. So it's not as good as it was then, but it is still a very strong ship in the tournament format.
Yeah, it's very nice for ships that have their kind of range is exactly the same as the tournament radius, and you can just kind of sit and work hard on taking damage while you project to pretty much anywhere there. Exceptionally good in this format. But and then banning the Golem ban is interesting. The Golem is, of course, the other Marauder that doesn't need cap to run its guns. So it's kind of flexible in that way, but...
I just saw something pretty exciting go by your screen there.
Ah.
Yeah, all right, that makes a bit more sense now.
Oh, now I'm excited. I can't see that screen,
Yes.
so I am completely in the dark.
Red and gold, big and shiny, just came by the screen.
Ooh.
Can we...
Yeah, at this point, they've both
Yeah,
seen.
We should just talk about the setups now. Like, there's no reason to hold. We don't have time to talk once they start shooting at each other.
So
let's just talk about it.
German ski lessons have brought a paladin. So we've got our second Marauder team here. And it'll be really interesting. And they're up against Astartes and Brutixes,
really.
Thorax's high damage. That's a team that could break through a paladin. This is going to be a good match.
But it's interesting because it's a team that doesn't break through the paladin by grinding over a lot of time. It's a team that has to do it early. Yeah. They do have reps. They do have an Oneros. They're not like a completely all-in brawl team.
And they've got an Armageddon, which will actually do really well against the blasters. So
that's true.
Yeah, the German ski lessons.
The paladin is paired with an Armageddon. That is.
Yes. Yes. So they're going to have a bit of kind of the long game. If they can stretch out the game, basically, they're going to be in a great place. They just need that paladin to survive the early game.
Yeah, this is going to definitely be a very
Micro-jump driving away
match.
might be a good call for them at the beginning. He did come in at 0. Like, that paladin's right in the middle of the arena. Anyways, yeah,
I wonder if that was intentional or if they made a mistake, and possibly got moved.
Middle of the arena is a pretty good place.
It's actually better than for most things because you aren't going to move a lot. You can hit stuff from everywhere, and you're pretty happy if the other team decides to shoot you. Like if you can preserve that second kind of wing of your fleet and have people waste damage into a paladin, which tanks extremely well in Bastion mode, and then you always have the freedom to just MJD out.
Unless they scram you.
Yeah, unless they scram you. That should be just fine. I actually was going to mention that, you see in the E-War effects thing, the little disruptor logo, it's always a question we get, why would you scram in the tournament? Because, of course, there's no warping, but scramblers do turn off micro warp drives and micro jump drives, so that can be pretty important.
Yeah, they're very, very powerful, even in the tournament. Long points, the warp disruptors aren't of any use because you can't warp out of the arena anyways, but the short-range scramblers are super, super powerful. I'm really excited about this match. It's going to be a race for the Raging Homo Sapiens team. They need to take down stuff very quickly because as the game gets longer, that Paladin and Armageddon.
Do you think they have to go? They have to just commit to the Paladin?
With this team, probably. Yeah. I mean, they're going to lose Thoraxes so fast. They've got Thorax and the Stars. This is like similar to that Talos team. It's definitely heavier and stronger in its defense than the Talos team we saw earlier.
Yeah.
But not by that much. Those Thoraxes are still going to be, and the Brutix are going to go down really fast. So that's going to be the game plan for German ski lessons. Is going to be kill Thoraxes and Brutixes, and then the game plan for Raging Homo Sapiens has got to be they've got to kill either the Geddon or the Paladin right away, and then kill the other one after that.
And the Geddon, actually the Geddon wouldn't be a terrible call. I was going to say if it's way back with the rest of the
it's close,
support fleet,
it's
at
like
50K,
10K.
it's pretty close. It's like 10K, so they can actually choose either of those battleships as their first target. The problem with choosing the Armageddon is that it doesn't actually represent that much damage. I mean, in comparison, or that much kind of. I don't know, long term for the match. Like it doesn't matter as much as the Paladin, basically. So,
so the match is ready.
Oh, I didn't even notice
the glasses turned red.
I was so excited about the.
Yes. With that said,
sorry.
How do you guys think this is going to go?
I'm going to stick with my original prediction for this, which is German ski lessons.
Yep, I think that's what I'm going to go for as well.
Got a great history in the tournament. This team has been very strong in a lot of tournaments, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. According to my sheet of paper, I have about as good as a German ski lesson as well. So we're all in agreement for the second match in a row. Let's see if we are all right for the second game in a row.